All right. So I got an interesting comment in the comment section from a user who said they are visually impaired and they were wondering about how that might affect their magic practice. So I wanted to address that because, yes, we definitely do. I definitely read the comments. And I wanted to kind of do a video on accessibility in general in Magic because this comes up a lot, actually. And it's a really important question to answer. Okay, so I want to talk about visual impairment first. This commenter said that their eyesight is going, and they want to know how to practice magic if they're losing their sight. Okay, so really interesting question. So there's the thing that I want to start with is there's no set way that you have to do any of this, right? It's kind of like and we all have to adapt it to our living situation one way or another. Like unless you have like a castle like up on a hill, which of course I would love. Unless you have like a castle up on a hill with like a full ceremonial room with like gold plates and all this stuff, you're not going to be able to do it like it's written in the books anyways. So everyone has to adapt the material to their situation, their own physiology. People's physiologies are different. People's neurology is different. Everyone has different levels of ability. And people have different backgrounds, life experiences. So they have different living. Somebody might live in a tiny room with three other people. You know, they have different living, and somebody might have that mansion. So, um, so we've all got to adapt it. So let's talk about sight first. So the most obvious answer is, well, easy. I mean, you can do what most people do anyways if they're in cramped living conditions. And it's important to learn how to do anyways, which is do everything astrally. What that means in practical terms is you simply imagine the temple and you imagine yourself going there. But there's a key to that where you have to make it so real in your imagination that it becomes more real than the physical world for you. And so I would say that you actually have a tremendous opportunity because you are essentially being forced to do it that way. Um, you have an opportunity to really, really highly train that skill, which, by the way, at the higher levels, you don't have anything physical anyways. It's all mental, right? That doesn't stop you from meditating. It doesn't stop you from astral work, both of which are the core of magic anyways. So frankly, I don't think it actually affects your situation. I think that if you adapt those things, you can turn your condition into a very, very powerful ally for you in forcing your visualization. Obviously, you can do magic. So when you mentioned sigils, part of that comment was, even drawing sigils is difficult. This gets at another deeper level, which is who said that a sigil has to be visual? There's no rule saying that. You can make a tactile sigil out of different contours and shapes, feelings that mean something different to you. You can make an auditory sigil. By the way, a mantra, right? That's the most basic. You don't have to a sigil doesn't have to be a symbol. You can take the letters and turn it into a mantra and just do it that way. So, by the way, as you can see, I have no will of my own. It is Charlie drags me wherever he wishes. Um, I need to do like a YouTube with Caesar the Dog Whisperer on it. That would be an awesome crossover episode. Um, so that actually brings up a related topic, which is visualizing. Actually, probably the most common thing that people say, difficulty, the most common difficulty people tend to have with magic is they say they can't visualize. Now, there's a condition. I've actually mentioned this on the YouTube. There's a condition that actually does lead to that. And that's that thing. But my response to that is always, how much have you practiced? So practicing visualization is basically what quote unquote astral work is all about. And it's obviously ideal for artists. But if you have difficulties visualizing, there's a great technique called image streaming, which I recommend. Would be my little tip for you today, which is, we talk about this, by the way, in the astral class you learned. Magic got me, the astral and lucid dreaming was, is narrating what you're visualizing out loud as you're visualizing it. Narrating what you're visualizing out loud as you're visualizing it is a tremendously helpful technique for keeping your visualizations guided and on track. So I kind of wanted to address that. But just on the topic of general accessibility too, I mean, I often have students who have physical handicaps or may have neurologies or even conditions that make things like yoga very difficult, or even things like Parkinson's, things like this. Um, and yeah, that will make yoga very difficult. And there's, for instance, pranayama. Not everyone can do pranayama because people may have respiratory sensitivities or conditions. Um, so the good thing about Magic, though, is there's like practically infinite practices in it. And as I often say, the reason why there's so many practices in Magic is not because you have to do all of them. It's because there's something for everyone. Everyone has something that resonates with them most. So if there's one or several practices that are tough for you in Magic, you can adapt them, and that's fine. Or you don't have to do those. You can do different practices. Let's keep heading. All right, yeah. So we got off the trail. There were mosquitoes. There's wind. What can I say? But that's going to be about it for me. Just wanted to address that. And just remember, you can always adapt the practices, always. And you have 6+ senses. If you don't have access to all your senses, you have all the others. And you can always adapt the practices. And of course, students at Magick.me, if you're a Magick.me student, you can always write in to support and we get with questions and we can help you adapt practices because we're happy to do that for anyone who wants things modified. That the address is just support at magickme.zendesk.com, but that's for students at Magick.me. For everyone else, just keep going. Just adapt the practices. Use your creativity. There's no right and wrong. No, you're not going to get lightning bolted for doing the thing wrong. Adapt it to yourself. The important thing is understanding the core of what you're doing and why you're doing it. When you understand why, then the specifics become less important. Okay. All right. Last bit of dad advice. Always wear your seatbelt. All right. Like and subscribe. Hit the notifications bell. See you soon.